All right, everybody, what is going on? We got news last night that Limit Breaker Vegito is coming for Heroes. That's good news. So in this video, I just want to talk about just Heroes units in general, what to expect from the celebration, things like that, right? So I've got some stuff pulled up. I got the category pulled up here. We're gonna talk about some of the units that came out last year, kind of where I stand on Heroes. Because yeah, I quoted this with the sleeping emoji, right? Because personally, I am not very excited for Heroes this year. I can't be excited for them this year. Whenever last year they were just such an abysmal disaster. It's like Hearts was okay. Hearts was okay, um, but he was definitely not like long-term good. It's like he aged out very quickly, and part of that is because the units around him aged out quickly, and because they made his transformation like bad. Like for some reason, Ultimate Hearts is just not good. They made him like a generic damage dealer with no way to get defense. And in this red zone era, it's like offense doesn't really matter much. Now for the heroes units, it kind of does matter a lot because heroes units don't really do a ton of damage. Some of them can, but I feel like for the most part, like Heroes is because there's no like LRs, right? That's kind of the issue with the Heroes category. Just like talking about it, just real quick, right? Is these Heroes units don't really have the best stats, and so you're like low on HP for the most part, right? Like your HP is low. You're not really doing any huge damage because, like I said, you don't have any of these like massive, full power LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku type LRs that are just going to be coming in, dropping a 20 million guaranteed crit. And then, of course, you've built them full additional, so you've got a good chance to do a second one, right? So it's like you don't really have anybody like that. It's like you have a character like Golden Cooler who can do a lot of attacks, but he's not doing the most damage ever. I don't know if somebody's done like a Heroes versus Merge Zamasu. I'm sure like Ningen did it or somebody like that, who's like super obsessed with the Heroes units and has just kind of made that their brand, to like be excited for these guys. And it's like I want to be excited for them because getting a character like this, a new named Super Saiyan 4 unit is always good, right? Like when are we ever going to get another super full power Saiyan 4 limit breaker Goku Xeno, right? Like I don't know. So like that's always really exciting, but it's like here are his rainbowed stats, right? Like this is terrible. This is awful. This like we want to be seeing HP somewhere around like 19 to 20,000. Attack doesn't really matter. Defense is also kind of whatever. But still, it's like this does matter because it's like they're giving them passives as if their stats look like who's a good example that I could pull up just like quickly, that hasn't easy aid. I'll just use like this guy for an example, right? We'll go to him. And we're going to ignore his easy A stats, right? So, like, right here, it's like, look at his, like, just base Dokkan stats. 16, 16, 9 versus, what was it? It was like 12, 13, 10 or something like that. Yeah, 14, 13, 10. I mean, that's just terrible, right? Compared to 16, 16, 9. I mean, that's a lot less in stats. One thing that they could do to really help these heroes units out, and I'm surprised they haven't done it, is they could give them like guaranteed equipments, right? If we go, sorry, I'm getting like off track in this video. But like if we go to equipment here, we can go by category. Why isn't there a heroes equipment like right here? There should be a Dragon Ball Heroes or a crossover equipment event that gives out some of these powerful EX equipments. What's a good one to pull up? That I could pull up really quickly. We just got some for like pure Saiyans, right? Oh goodness, it's so hard to find anything in this list. There we go, pure Saiyan, right? We just got some for this from, what was it from? Was it from the Donkey Kong event? Is that what it was from? I can't remember. But I feel like we just got some good pure Saiyan equipments in here somewhere. Like I don't know, this one or something. But yeah, regardless, it's like we get Extreme Super Battle Road equipments, stuff like that. Why aren't we getting powerful equipments? Oh, Power of Wishes is a good one, right? We just got like all these powerful of Wishes equipments, right? From like that Pilaf event. It's like why aren't we getting stuff like this for the heroes units? They could really benefit from this, and not just like that. Like the trunks, right? If we go by character or by card, right? right here. Where's that Trunks that was on there? This Trunks, right? He got some insane equipment help that really helped boost his stats and stuff like that. It's like, why aren't we getting these exact same equipments for all of the heroes units? Like, let me slap a level 800 defense onto my heroes units, please, because they could definitely benefit from it. I mean, you go down here, right? Like, let me get this dodge and defense onto my characters. Let me get this dodge and defense like gold on my heroes characters. You know, if we could do something like that and really boost up their stats, I mean, that would be hugely beneficial to the heroes units if we could get EX equipments like that. So I'm not sure why they don't do that. You know, it's like they make a huge deal about heroes. I mean, it's like a whole celebration. It has its own red zone, right? Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but if we go to challenge, right, and then in active, there should be right here. It's like we got this ultimate red zone Super Dragon Ball Heroes edition that is only up for the time period of the Hero Celebration last year. I assume that this will come back this year and probably have more stages added to it. You guys go to the trouble of making all this crazy exclusive content for heroes, right? Why not just make the characters good, you know, outside of that celebration? Give them these equipments that make them, you know, better in stats. Don't lock them to the heroes teams, things like that, right? It's like, why do we put all this effort into it, but then just stop like just short of the goal line, you know? It's like, let's get that last little push and get into the end zone. Let's get them some equips that are going to help boost their stats, things like that. Because as it sits, I mean, like, I don't want to use any of these characters. And some of them have really good kits, right? Like Robel, like, she has a crazy kit, right? Doesn't yeah, she has rainbow orb changing. She has a high chance to dodge. She heals. She has a great chance to, you know, get a scouter when there's another heroes category unit. It's like, this is a crazy unit. It's like she's got a good super attack effect, seal stunning or seal, you know, attack and defense raise by 50%. But you know, you can't run her again. Stats are an issue. Like, if you could slap an extra, I don't know, how much would it be? You know, if we had an 800, a 600, and like a 600, right? That'd be, you know, 2,000 extra defense to right here. That would definitely help out a lot. But right now, you know, it's just not looking too great over here in Heroes World at the moment. The characters that we got last year, kind of like the three main headliners, right, were Hearts, the Limit Breaker Super, and then the Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4s. Like, those are like the main, you know, like big poppy, you know, big advertisement characters. And Hearts on paper was okay. His leader skill was fine. You know, for what he is, his leader skill was fine. And honestly, his base form here, like this base super hearts is actually fine. Like his defense, it could be better, but he gets guard for 5 turns, which really does help him out a lot. And we know now, by the way, because they did that new update where now the transform state does get guard for 1 turn. So essentially, this guy has guard for, you know, what is it? Basically, what would it be? 4 rotations, because it would be turn 1, 3, 5, and then 7 is how many turns you can have guard with this guy. But, you know, in this era of AoE units where this guy is, or like AoE bosses, where this guy is getting all of his stats on super attack, right? Like, he gets this, you know, 50% when performing a super attack, this 30% here, um, you know, stuff like that. It just, it makes it tough, right? Because all these characters, there's most of the heroes characters, their starter turn defense is not very good, and then it becomes really good on super attack. And just the way they've pushed bosses in the last year, really since Broly, actually, really since Baby. I don't know if you guys remember the Baby Red Zone fight. That was like the first. Actually, no, like since Moscow. Moscow was like the first big AoE boss that we got, right? You know, anybody who was around during the 6th anniversary knows that Moscow would roll up. He'd start jiggling those fingers and creating that like orb. He'd throw it up into the sky and you would just die, right? Like, it's like, all right, UI Goku, I need you to dodge. And then if he didn't, you know, you just died, right? It's like, I don't know how many times Moscow specifically, you hop into that fight, dude starts jiggling his fingers, he throws up the ball, and then you just die instantly. Like, turn 1 before you can do anything. And then it's like, then the next year, then we got Baby, right, with the Baby Red Zone. And Baby comes out in his Grade 8 phase and is going nuts. And everybody was like freaking out. Luckily, though, we had the LR Super Saiyan 4s who were type advantage, right? So they just kind of clobbered Baby. But until those guys, you know, came out, it was a little spooky, right? um, And then, then we got Broly, and Broly was like a nasty AoE boss because you couldn't dodge. It's like all these other AoE bosses, haha, we can dodge your AoE, haha, sucker. Broly comes out and says, yeah, you're not dodging this one. And then we get Omega, and then we get Sin, and then we get Omega, and now we've got Merge Zamasu. It's like they're really pushing these AoE bosses as like the hardest bosses in the game. So all these characters like Hearts here, who are okay after they super attack, are just going to get crushed beyond belief by these like powerful bosses. So probably this week, since I'm going to be out of town for Thanksgiving, I'm going to pre-record a bunch of videos today. I think maybe on like Wednesday or Thursday, I'll get some Hearts videos out, just looking at him. Maybe I'll move him up. But I kind of wanted to do it like right in the heart of the hero. Yeah, right in the heart of the hero celebration, right? So like the middle of next week, like on Thanksgiving, um, is probably when that will come out. So, while you're eating your turkey dinner or your lunch or your breakfast, however you're doing that, you can sit down and watch some Hearts videos in your spare time. I don't actually expect anybody to watch any of my videos on Thanksgiving or like Black Friday. You guys should be spending that with your family. But for those of you maybe who don't want to, spend time with your family, I get it. And you just want to go, stay locked in your room and just vibe out. And maybe you got an essay to write for college or, high school, whatever, because, everybody's been there, right? Like at some point in their life, and if you haven't gotten there yet, you will. You have some teacher or professor that assigned you a giant essay that you have to write over Thanksgiving. So if you haven't been there, you'll get there soon. Everybody's got the story of, it's like, oh, as soon as we were done eating Thanksgiving dinner, I had to go, sit down somewhere and start writing my essay for, whatever class. I think for me, it was professional report writing. I had to take that. I had to do like a 20-page analysis. We had to like gather data, do a bunch of stuff, and do like a full, like huge report on it. It wasn't like 20 full pages of writing, but it was single spaced, and the majority of it was writing. So, but it's not like creative writing, right? Like it's just analyzing data, giving thoughts on it, making judgment. You guys get the point. I'm done with that though. But I wrote that over Thanksgiving, right? That was fun. I remember Black Friday, right? My mom was doing some online shopping, and we are just sitting there in her room, and I was just like laying on the bed, like watching football and typing that out. That was a good time. But anyway, back onto the Hearts video. That'll probably come out Thursday. We'll look at this guy, see how he is. Again, that's going to be pre-recorded, so it's not going to have like any new characters in it, like the Limit Breaker Vegito, the Controlled Berserk, Vegeta, the super great like full power Rose, whatever you want to call it. Like everyone calls it like Super Saiyan 3 Rose. I think the name is like full power Rose, isn't it? Or something like that. So yeah, we'll take a look at these guys just as the team currently sits. Again, probably Thanksgiving. And I've completely lost track now of what I was going to talk about in these videos, but point being here is that I'm not super excited for the Heroes units, but we do have word that Limit Breaker Vegito is coming, which I know for some people is like insanely hype. We just gotta hope that, that they're built well. I think at bare minimum, what we should be asking for is like AGL Zamasu. I think if we can get them as good as like AGL Zamasu, which people are going to be like, hey, that's insane. Like he's one of the best TURs. It's like, well, yeah, but I mean, listen, if you introduce a boss like, Corrupt or like Merge Zamasu Red Zone, you're going to need characters like AGL Zamasu to get you through it. And honestly, AGL Zamasu is not one of the better characters for that red zone fight. He can come into his own, but those first couple turns with him are pretty spooky. So, especially if you don't have like Cold Judgment activated. So, it can be a little bit spooky for him in there, but it's like in all these other fights, he's really good for him. So, honestly, if I can take these guys into maybe like the Rose red zone fight or something like that and feel good about using them in there, that'll be good. And then, of course, like I mentioned earlier in the video, I don't want to guarantee it because Dokkan likes to do dumb stuff, but this is going to be coming back out. So as long as they're good for this, I guess at the very, very least, that'll be good. I seem to remember having some issues with this mission, maybe. Beat Stage 3, which was Cumber with a full Heroes team. For some reason, I feel like that was a little bit tricky. I don't remember why, and I wasn't recording videos back then, but for some reason, I feel like this was tricky. Now, personally, right, I don't go too crazy summoning for heroes. I try to just go for a copy of each. I think last year, somehow I ended up with like 10 copies of Hearts before I got like one copy of Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And of course, I didn't go for the rainbow on him because, again, like those characters were just so unimpressive last year that I just didn't feel interested in it. Like, it's just like, whatever. I got my one copy. We got the character. We're going to link level him, get out of here. But yeah, I was not impressed by this guy at all. This guy could definitely be interesting on an easy A, but as it sits, he's not super impressive. But I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this video anymore. I feel like I've just rambled on here for about 15 minutes, and if I could talk for another 30 about heroes. But in summary, I'm gonna do a showcase for Hearts on Thursday. I don't exactly remember when these guys are coming out. So we got the Dokkan teaser here. I didn't look and see if there was a date in it, but maybe tomorrow we get the teasers or Monday. I bet Sunday night. Sunday night, which is tonight. They like to do teasers, so maybe Sunday night tonight. We'll get the teasers and stuff at like 3 a.m. whatever. And then the data download on Monday night, and then maybe Tuesday night they'll be in game. Maybe we'll see. Um, but yeah, I'm not sure exactly at the moment. We just know this guy's coming. What is it? The controlled Berserk Vegeta is coming. The full power Rose is coming. I think there's a few others that they announced, but I can't remember offhand. So anyway, let me know if you guys are excited for Heroes. Again, I'm not, just because of like how terrible these guys were last year. But I listen, if I was ever going to be like, I don't want to say proved wrong because I'm not like making a statement like, oh, they're going to suck. I'm just saying I'm not excited because they were bad last year. But if they want to get me excited, I'm more than happy to be excited. I'm just, not excited at the moment. No videos, or like, well, we'll have videos next week, but they'll all be pre-recorded, so no Heroes content next week. I might do shorts. It's really easy for me to just, record like the end of a short, upload it, things like that, and then do full videos whenever I get back. But yeah, I won't be able to record because I can't, I could take my PC with me, but that'd be more trouble than it's worth. And also, like, it's like I want to spend time with my family, right? Like, it's like the 1 week out of the year that I get to see them. So it's like I'm gonna hang out with them, do stuff with them. It's gonna be a good time, and I don't want to be recorded about or I don't want to be worried about having to record videos and stuff during Thanksgiving. So. Anyway, you guys have a good holiday break. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to catch you guys next time.